This is an article. It states that it was produced in the 1970s. It goes to outlaw vicious dogs. Ordinance against bull breed to be ready this week. It states that the campaign started. See if I can get this bigger. The campaign started by human officer Joe Ridsdorf to put a stop to fighting bulldogs. Is meeting with favor is shown by the number of telephone calls and written endorsements of his attitude since he announced the intention of taking the matter up. They continue, there are a number of people in this city owning bulldogs who delight in seeing their dogs chew up other animals, said I'm going to call him Mr. Rudder. And it is these persons we want to get at. Some weeks ago, we treated a pet dog for a boy. The little fellow was much attached to his pup, and a few days later came back heartbroken and told us his pup had just been killed by a bulldog, the owner of which cheered his fighter on. This person lives on Boone Avenue, but I couldn't bring action against him under our present vicious dog ordinance because it applies only to dogs that attack persons. If a dog bites a person, we send the owner notice that this dog is vicious and it must be chained or muzzled. We can't persecute the owner until the dog bites a second person. It is to broaden this ordinance and make it applicable to owners of dogs that kill and injure other dogs that I am working. I expect to draft an ordinance this week and submit it to the city council by its terms. We will be able to get action against the person who glorifies in seeing his bulldog chew up other animals. The French, Boston, and English bulldogs are not combative animals, but the Pit Bull Terrier and English Terrier are natural fighters and do the damage. Common sense, of course, will be used in the administration of this ordinance, for in many cases the bulldog is not the aggressor. Even in the 1970s and to now, to say the least, we have been seeing the same outcome, same results, same action, the same owners, the same reaction from these dogs, from this pit bull culture, since, again, to say the least, since the 70s. So what we see happening in 2026 from these pit bull owners, from dog culture, is nothing new under the sun. The stuff you are seeing with these dogs attacking and killing and these owners being rude and disgusting is nothing new. The only difference is I'm speaking up against it. There are others that are speaking up against it. People on Reddit, other forums are speaking up against these dogs and these dim-witted owners. But the same outcome continues. That's why we see these dogs continue to pile up more attacks and deaths, because we allow and we push and we praise such a disgusting dog culture. Where I'm from, some of the old people, when you have children or maybe the grown-up adults, and them do bad or them rude or them act wild or they act up or they're behaving bad. Some of the older people will say, you'll go from bad to worse, or you'll go from bad to worse, or go from bad to worse. What that mean is, it's like the other phrase, like you dig hole. You dig hole, the more you dig, the deeper you're getting. You keep digging a bigger grave. You keep digging a bigger hole. So in this dog culture, it'll go from bad to worse. From the 1970s, way before this pit bull culture boomed. And it wasn't until maybe 2003 is when it started. That's where it really started to come about. And you look at it, and you look at now and then in history. These pit bull natta go from bad to worse, or bad to worse. It make sense. Them keep getting the same dog that attack and it's the same result. Even in this, it's giving these dogs a second chance. A second chance to bite someone. But before this, it was like these things have to only attack at other people then. Then I'll move until this dog bite a next person, a next child, a next debt. So them just, let it go. And just have to wait and wait and wait. It's the same thing today. Same exact thing. But it's worse though. It is worse. But at least, we have people today speaking up about it thanks to the internet. There's a lot I want to go through today. Hopefully I can get it done within an hour. I'm very tired. I thought about doing this tomorrow, but I know I'm going to be tired after, my work. And, probably going to the gym, so probably won't get a chance to do this. But some things I want to get through now and today. In my neck of the woods, Oshawa. And I didn't even hear about this attack. Didn't hear about it. I'm always looking on Google for attacks. I didn't hear about this attack. I'm always hearing about the same little attacks. The one from Nova Scotia keeps coming up. I'll hear new attacks in other parts of the world. But in my own neck of the woods, I didn't hear a single thing regarding this. And it states 2 moms from Oshawa are speaking out after harrowing attack from 2 dogs left both of them bitten and a young girl badly mauled. They added that the girl, had received multiple punctures on the face. She was only 4 years old, and some of those attacks are very close to her eye and on her upper arm. The serious questions about how municipal authorities handle the case and whether the dogs are still a danger. Like in the U.S. and maybe other places with animal control and these dogs, it's very loose. Very, very loose. Many of these dogs will get a second, third, maybe fourth chance to attack. And nothing's done. They add, I have this one dog on my arm, and when I feel another coming from behind me and jump on my back, all I can think of is they're going to rip us apart, like we're both going to die. So this is the mom trying to save her daughter who's being attacked by these dogs. A 4-year-old. Who feels threatened by a 4-year-old? Who does that? So many of these dogs are feeling threatened and triggered that they have to attack. Riley looks down and there's blood pouring from her face all over her arms, and she starts screaming, she said. The ad, it requires that the dogs are described as American bulldogs. And they must be kept muzzled, leashed, except when they're on the premises of their owner, which doesn't really make any sense. Doesn't make sense. Because even if they're on the premises, they don't have to be muzzled or leashed. What if they have a backyard? So technically they don't have to be leashed or muzzled on their property. So once they escape again, and they can still attack someone again. See, these laws and punishments are just ridiculous. They also add a sign outside that unit doesn't mention any animal control order. It just says, crazy dog live here. Do not knock. They will bark. I will yell. Shit will get real. This is the dog nuts talking this way. It's not me talking. It is the dog nuts that are talking this way about man's best friend. And I always said dog owners are vile. And they always only prove it every day. They incriminate themselves every day. They deliberately put themselves on film, in picture, incriminating themselves. And no one, not even these other dog nuts who want to, have a good reputation, they say nothing. They allow these people to behave the way they do. And they also added, the man who answered spoke from behind an almost closed door, as dogs could be heard barking in the background, and denied any attack took place. Liars. There's no attack. I don't know what you're talking about. Nope, that didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. Have a nice day, he said before locking the door. These are the dog nuts that we have living in our society, that are our neighbors. Even when a 4-year-old child is attacked, they will still lie to protect their dogs. And this lying still even happens with parents of dogs who attack their children. They will lie to protect the dog. In 2024, the city of Toronto passed new rules aimed at protecting the public, including requiring owners whose dogs have been classified as dangerous to display clear signage. Failing to display these signs can lead to fines of up to $615 or court-issued fine of up to $100,000. And lastly, they say for now, she's keeping a baseball bat at her door to protect her child in case these dogs get out again. You shouldn't have to be attacked to weapon up against dogs. And this is a clear example. But maybe she knew. Maybe she knew about dogs and how vile they are, but just didn't, act upon it. But nevertheless, you always need to be equipped and ready mentally, emotionally, with a weapon, physically. Gotta know who your neighbors are. I know it's not all foolproof, it's not full protection, but it's better than doing nothing and just walking aimlessly outside. And you're seeing a dog approach you, and you're like, oh, come here, little fight. Oh, want a pretty. And next thing you know, that thing attacks you. We've seen it happen with that girl in that one video. I don't know, I can't find it now, but there's a video where this girl was like being all nice and friendly with this worthless pit bull, and then out of nowhere starts attacking either her or her dog. Man, gotta stay vigilant. And when you run and you defend yourself or shoot or, take out a weapon to defend yourself, these dog nuts and pit nuts, man, they go crazy, man. They go crazy against you for protecting yourself, for not wanting to be attacked. They rather see you get attacked. They rather that. In Canada, these are the banned dogs, which I see every day. But in the article, it said it was an American It was an American bulldog, I believe it was. Let's see. Yeah, it was an American bulldog.
2 Oshawa moms are speaking out after a dog.
Let's see. This is it. You know, it's ugly, worthless, disfigured mutt. And, you know, and that's why, you know, these laws against, you know, pit bulls or various dogs, it's so disorderly because, you know, we'll say this is a pit bull. That's not a pit bull. It's a Staffy. It's an American bulldog. Even though they do the exact same thing, their actions are the exact same. The exact same. They most likely come from the same bloodline. Well, the same, I don't know what you call it, the same breeding way. But they're going to call it, that's not a bulldog. That's a pit bull. It's not a pit bull. It's a Staffy. It's this. It's that. That's why these bans are just so disorderly. A lot of these dog nuts don't even know the breeds of their dogs. They don't even know breeds of dogs. They act like they know, but they ain't know shit. Some of these shelters will lie about dog breeds. Or are they even, or maybe they actually think a certain dog is a specific breed and they put that on purpose. It's dog nuttery. This is from City News back in August 4, 2025. Oshawa pet owner charged with animal abuse, dog euthanized. An Oshawa pet owner was arrested and charged with animal abuse on Sunday after 2 dogs were left unattended in a hot vehicle. So this is, again, you know, why I show this. It's not dog haters that are abusing these worthless mutts. It is dog lovers that are abusing their own dogs. Dog lovers. These dog lovers will say, oh, if you hate dogs, you're a bad person. But we have dog lovers that still abuse these dogs. So it's probably better to be a dog hater because you stay away from dogs and they get to, I guess, live their life. But when they're with these dog lovers, there's a high chance that they can be abused, which, you know, I think maybe 60% are abused some way, somehow, whether a low or high degree. This is from CBC News, September 23rd, 2025. Goodrich dog owner charged after second attack, injures people and kills dogs. Goodrich woman is facing charges after police say the same 2 dogs were involved in attacks that resulted in the death of another dog and injuries of the owner. The first incident happened in 2024, August 2024. Police say a pedestrian who was walking their worthless mutts on Gibbons Street was attacked by 2 pit bull mixes that were not secured on their owner's property. Now we fast forward to this year, probably 2025 year, and this was in July. The woman was walking her dogs while using a mobility scooter when her worthless mutt was attacked by the same 2 dogs. The woman suffered injuries in her face in the attack. The 36-year-old dog nutter will face charges of criminal negligence, sorry. And she'll appear in court October the 6th. They also say her dog will stay with her pending the result of court hearing. Police say the courts will decide if the dogs will remain with their owner or be put down. So these dogs get to stay with the owner. You know, risking more danger and more attacks. So these laws and the way they take care of these things, it's illogical. Any other person, natural animal, will not be treated like dogs. Dogs are, you know, they get away with a lot, man. Okay, this is a trial delayed in D-Land dog attack death case. Family demands justice and new charges.
women who own dogs, Volusia deputies say, killed an 8-year-old boy last year while he was riding his bike, had a hearing here today. Now, Michael Millet's family has not missed a court date, and they were here today in their fight for justice. Now, the two women, they skipped court, letting their lawyers speak for them. Today was supposed to be the final hearing before their trial date, but it was all pushed back again with new evidence just submitted. At the same time, the Millet family has made a new push for justice.
This was a preventable death. At the end of the day, that's what this is. You know, my son should be here.
Michael's mom, Tiffany.
A lot, 100% of any victim who has died by dogs should all be here. They should all be here still today, in school, in a job, flourishing, making mistakes, failing, getting rejection, all those things. But unfortunately, their lives were taken away by the worst way possible, by dogs. Dogs, something that no one needs. No one needs dogs. But when they're in our community, in our city, in our home, someone might die.
Canal has formally asked prosecutors to re-examine the case and consider more charges. In January 2025, Michael was attacked by 2 dogs that escaped. The dogs' owners, Amanda Franco and Brandy Hodel, faced felony tampering charges for...
Sorry again. And this case was similar to the 2 cases that happened just recently. The one in Nova Scotia, the child was riding his bike and was attacked and killed. Then another one in, I believe it was Missouri or Kansas, child riding his bike and he was attacked and killed by these dogs. Now this case, you can't ride your bike, you can't pick apples, you can't stay in your own home, on your own property, always getting attacked. These children, these adults, these people would still be here today if it wasn't for these dogs. They destroy everything in their paths.
For deleting Facebook messages about the dog's troubles. Canal believes they should also be...
And I mean that literally. They do destroy everything in their path. Not just by attacking, but through their nasty bacteria. They destroy everything. They destroy their own owners. They destroy themselves.
Be charged with manslaughter for culpable negligence.
Her yard was not fenced in properly. So both of those things are in writing.
Body camera video just sent to News 6 shows the dogs running near the scene after the attack. Now that video is part of the original discovery list that I requested. I just got it. I also got the screenshots of those deleted conversations. They show a history of neighbors telling Franco the dogs got out. One from November 2024 shows Franco talking about the dogs escaping their property and attacking and killing neighbors' chickens. Then messages from the day of the attack show Hodel surprised the dogs got out again and attacked. The state attorney's office tells me prosecutors reviewed the case for months, considering manslaughter charges, but concluded there was not enough evidence to prove culpable negligence beyond a reasonable doubt.
See, having these people in our presence, man, it's just horrible. It's horrible. Children are getting killed for nothing. Innocent people. And this is the America. But they stand for liberty, justice, and all that stuff, and freedom, and truth, and dignity, all that stuff. But yet they're allowing these worthless dogs. It's not as... These are essential dogs. These are worthless dogs. Living beside us. Living beside you. And once they're free or find a way out, they're going to attack your children in their own backyard. And then you have to find, some cause. Oh, the fence is this and that. And there's so many attacks that happen where there wasn't a fence. This whole fence thing is just another excuse to excuse these dogs' behaviors. The fence is just another excuse, just like the weather, just like a noise trigger. They use this fence and gate thing to protect these dogs, some way or another. It doesn't matter if there is a fence there or not. These things will still and can attack. I think there was a story maybe a long time ago of a dog escaping from the second story of the house down to the ground level and still attacking children. No offense. Judge orders a euthanasia for dangerous dog after at least 3 attacks in Silver Creek. This is from castnet.net. The execution of Solomon Arm dog that attacked and bit at least 3 people was upheld by a judge after a hearing that concluded on December the 16th, 2025. Animal control officers told the court they had a discussion with Colin Berger where he acknowledged that there were gapes in his fence his dogs were able to escape from and run free in the community. This whole fence thing, like, I've been seeing it quite often, always have been. But to me, it's just another deploy, another detour, another excuse to be mindless and ignorant of the dog. The society will never, I don't want to say never, but they don't want to look at the dog as the problem. They're going to find something else to blame. And they're going to now blame it on a fence. Whether you have a fence, whether there's a hole, a lot of these people don't even know that these things can climb over, through these fences. They don't even know that these dogs have attacked without a fence. They're the ones coming onto people's property and attacking. Jumping into people's cars and attacking. So this has nothing to do with the fence, but they will keep bringing up these fence, and that's the only reason why, is to protect these worthless mutts. And they add, according to the judge's decision, Ledger met and assessed Luna and reviewed the incident reports from each of the attacks. She said she believed the incidents largely stemmed from territorial aggression, but noted Luna's aggression is heightened by living with 3 other dogs, which causes a pack mentality. So now they're blaming it on pack mentality now. All the dogs living with other dogs, now is the pack mentality, so that's why. Why can't they look at these dogs as dangerous, as dumb, as brain damaged mutants, as worthless? They don't do that. They always have to find something to justify their attacks, to excuse their attacks, to stop blaming the dog. Now they're blaming it on pack mentality? I never heard that one before. Because of pack mentality, that's why they attack. That's why they're aggressive. What about all the dogs that were all by themselves and still attacked? They never ask those questions. They're never this logical. Because they can't. Because that would only expose how dogs are. And they don't want that because they're brainwashed and or just stupid. About Yellow Dog. UK support and awareness for nervous and anxious dogs who need space. My guess, this is just another ploy to sell and to get dogs adopted, because a lot of these shelters are filled with a lot of worthless mutts that no one wants, and especially a lot of these worthless mutts are bully breed dogs. So what they're doing is creating these nonsensical things about dogs in order for it to be a draw, to attract people to it. A lot of dog nuts looking at this will feel bad for dogs. They always feel bad for dogs. And that will make them want to go out and get a worthless mutt. So all of this is just business, man. It's just business. Who cares if a dog is nervous or anxious? It's always only dogs doing this. Only dogs doing this. And even when they're not nervous or anxious, they still go and attack you. So what's the point of all this? Again, it's just to sell dogs. It's to sell them because a lot of these shelters are over capacity. Here with a little throwback, in 2008, 2008. I like to sing, it doesn't sound right. But 2008, dog bite fatality, child dies in a pit bull attack at Camp Lejeune. He was only 3 years old, big kid for 3 years old though. Onslow County Medical Examiner Dr. John Almeida was released more information about the fatal pit bull attack that occurred. Julian Slack, 3 years old, bled to death as a result of a dog bite injury. The manner of death is listed as accidental on the death certificate. Slack was at home and under the care of a babysitter at the time of the incident. The attack occurred about 4 p.m. when an acquaintance of Slack's family, who is neither a Marine nor a resident. Why is it a Marine? Who is neither a Marine or a base resident, stopped by the family's Tura Terrace home with the dog. So this person stopped at home, or stopped at the home or the house that Julian was staying at with the dog. Okay. At some point, the dog was let into the residence, and they probably just let the leash go. I'm like, oh, let the dog go do its business, because, this dog is never going to attack anyone. So the dog goes through the residence, excited and startled by something Slack may have done, and attacked. You guys see that? The dog was excited and startled by something Slack may have done, so it decided to chew and kill the poor little child. It was undetermined who allowed the dog into the home. You know damn well these people are lying. Just making up stuff. Just making up things. You know damn well once they got near the house, and these people are always comfortable with dogs doing their thing. Once that door opened, he let go of the leash and let the dog inside. And they saw the boy, and you know damn well the dog immediately, for no reason, no trigger, decided to attack. That's what happened. Most likely what happened. This boy's going to excite and startle the dog. When natural animals are startled, they fly and run away. They freeze and they observe the environment. They don't just go and attack. They may do that if you're in your territory, but those are natural animals. They're doing their thing. But this dog, who's probably a family dog and probably loving and a man's best friend and all that positive crap, gets allowed into the home. They drop the leash. Or maybe there was no leash, but they allowed this dog to roam free to get into the house. And as soon as that dog saw the child, the dog attacked and killed the child. The child was probably laughing, making noise like children do. Playing games, jumping, running like children do. Children just make these random noises and movements out of nowhere, out of nothing. Sometimes they're just loud out of nowhere. It just happens. And if that's going to trigger these dogs, then again, these things do not belong in our society. They do not belong in homes. But unfortunately, we're in a society that will keep putting these dogs into position to attack. And I don't think this guy was like, this dog is not trained well. He probably thought his dog was very trained. Probably didn't even care. Didn't even know. And just was like relaxed and comfortable. He wasn't expecting an attack. Because this thing has never showed any aggression before. And then when it happens, these people want to freak out and lie. And act as if this is like the first time this has happened. In this article, what I want to look at is pet safety tips, keeping dogs secure. And this is what they are saying in order for you to keep dogs secure. They say ensure fences are secure with no gaps or loose boards. Keep gates locked and in good working condition. Use a leash when dogs are outside, unfenced areas. Do not allow dogs to roam freely in the neighborhood. Regularly inspect yards for escape points. Properly socialize and train pets to reduce aggressive behavior. A lot of dog owners do these. They do more, and these things still attack. Some of them don't even do none of this. A lot of dog nuts will not do any of this. Now, they may try sometimes, here and there. They may see a little hole, but, they're lazy. They think their dog will never escape to attack anyone. The thing has never escaped yet. They see holes. They see, underneath tunnels, and they think nothing about it. They think that their dog would never attack. Or maybe they're just so lazy to take care of it. And then it happens. And then they will put up things like this. As if these dog nuts actually read these things. Do you think dog nuts actually read these things? But even if they do read it, do you think they actually care and will, accept and apply these things? But even if they do apply these things, these dogs still can and have attacked. So at the end of the day, it's not, taking action and being proactive. It's the fact that these dogs are around that are the problem. The dog is the problem. Having these dogs are the problem. It's the dog's problem. The dogs are the problem. They're the one attacking and killing. But instead of looking at these dogs as the problem, what do? We focus on something entirely different. Different excuses. In today's video, they're talking, about fences being the problem. Now they're saying it's pack mentality. Dogs being in a place that has more than one dog can cause aggression now. It's the dog. It's the dog. So if dogs can, become aggressive in pack mentality, and they're in a home and, they're being socialized, there's nothing more you can really do. When these things want to attack, they're going to attack. We've seen this happen countless times, every day, all around the world. Do you think places in maybe third world countries, excuse me for saying that, some of them don't even have fences. Some of them are not even inspecting these fences. Some of them aren't even socializing their dog, but their dog probably has never shown any aggression before. They probably see a lot of holes in their yard, but they're not going to do much about it. They can't. So this is a problem all around the world, and it's the same entity that is committing these deaths, these injuries, these disfigurement, sending people to the hospital and the grave. But yet, they get a pass. They continue to get a pass. We got to worry about fences now. No, now they want us to just worry about the fence. Worry about a fence.
We have new details on a dog attack that sent an elderly woman to the hospital with critical injuries. Alachua County Sheriff's deputies say the pit bull mix bit 3 people before they shot and killed it. Sheriff's officials were called to help a 71-year-old woman who was bit Saturday night around 7 in High Springs. The woman's daughter, who is the owner of the dog, was also bit while trying to intervene. The deputy who responded was also bit, then shot the dog, which later died. The 71-year-old woman is in the hospital with critical injuries. The deputy involved was treated at the hospital for bite wounds and then later released.
You have that one. Check this video out. You're gonna see this thing come out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. This thing didn't even hesitate. This thing had one mission, and that is to attack. And the guy's in the background right there taking his sweet time. This thing didn't hesitate. It had one mission, and that was to attack anything that is charging at you like this. Even if it's a person, you're going to get into that flight or fight mode. You're not going to stand there and be, hey, little cute little doggy. You're not going to do that. You're going to think this thing wants to attack you or harm you. But this person is going to harm you. But then when you defend yourself by shooting these things, or defending yourself by harming these things, you can get put in jail. There was a guy. There was a guy who was arrested for defending himself. Just recently, I saw it on Facebook. I can't remember the name, but this guy shot the dog in the head. Anyways, it was this one. A guy was defending himself. Same guy. See, when you defend yourself, you can go to jail because you hurt these worthless mutt. Yeah, I can't find it. I know it was recently. It was it all happened in the United States. I think the dog was like charging at him and was trying to attack his dog, and he shot the dog, and he was arrested for that. I know I've always said, have a weapon with you at all times, and this guy did, and he was arrested for it. So it's like it's like you're not allowed to defend yourself against these things. You have to wait for them to attack you. Like, imagine calling animal control and police and saying, there's these dogs terrorizing the neighborhood, chasing people, biting people, whatever the case may be, and they do nothing. So you say, hey, it's either fight or flight. You're not going to stay a prisoner in your own neighborhood. You go out, they approach you again, and you decide to shoot them. Now you get put in jail for defending yourselves. You get put in jail because animal control and law enforcement and the government did not do the job that they're supposed to do. So-called protect, I'm sorry about this picture. So-called protect, the citizens. But sometimes even when you defend yourself and it's lawful, you can be still charged. And this picture you're seeing here, it's basically dog worship, and this is what dog lovers and dog owners do. This is what they do with their dogs. They worship their dogs. Even when they shit, they worship them. They will bend, they will literally bend over and pick up the shit and walk with it. This is dog worship. This is what dog nutters do. Because they nasty. I don't do this. I don't worship shit beasts like this. They're the ones watching and looking, and their house is full of shit, and picking up dog shit. Okay, I'm going to let Amy read this one.
So yesterday I was doing my typical evening walk. I usually take a 3 to 4 mile trail back home after my workout at the park. And it was nearing about dusk. During the walk back, I get rushed by a stray dog, about medium-sized, on the trail back home, and I literally had to kick this dog away so it wouldn't attack my ankles. I'm pissed at myself because usually I bring a stick with me since it's happened before, but I figured I'd be fine. I just hate the fact that people leave dogs abandoned or unattended around my town, but luckily I'm a pretty strong guy and I can fend off a dog pretty easily.
Yep, it's not just dogs that have these dim-witted owners, it is stray dogs too that are a problem in many, many countries. And in many of those countries, there's a law protecting these dogs, or you can't harm them. You have to wait until they harm you or your children. In these countries, stray dogs go about. There's 2 articles. There's one where these dogs went to someone's home and mauled their newborn baby. There's another article of these dogs going into hospitals and mauling up children and babies in there. And they will tell you, hey, you cannot harm these things. You have to literally wait for them to attack and kill you first before you can do anything. These dogs get a free card to do anything. Man, imagine something so worthless has, so much, immunity, Last thing I want to read. Laplace toddler hospitalized after pit bull bites. Two-year-old Laplace girl suffered lacerations to the left side of her neck, face, and chest after being bitten by her father's pit bull on Monday. The St. John Baptist Parish Sheriff's Office responded to a call around close to 3 p.m. regarding a dog biting a toddler. When deputies arrived to the 300 block of Cottage Court in Laplace, the officials were on the scene and addressing the young girl's wound. The deputy observed the child having trouble breathing and bleeding from her mouth. The girl's father told the deputy that he saw the child in the dining room eating popcorn, and then she went to her bedroom. After a few minutes, she said he heard the child screaming and went to the room. The father said he saw the dog had bitten the child. The father said he thinks the dog was able to get into the girl's bedroom from the rear yard. What? Through the partition of the window air conditioning unit. What? This is weird. He said he thinks his daughter may have removed the wood board that acted as a barrier on the side of the window of the barrier on the side of the window AC. The girl was transported to the hospital in New Orleans. The case is now being taken over by CPS. So this guy says, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But he says the dog, came from the outside into the girl's bedroom through the window and basically blames the girl for removing the wood from the window. I think I know what he means. I think we used to do it back in my day. Back then, used to put like a wooden stick between like the window where you slide open. I think I kind of know what he means, but it's your responsibility as the father to make sure your home is always safe and secure for your child. It's only 2 years old. This guy probably, takes and cares for more the dog than his own daughter. You allowed this to happen. Let's say this is true by not checking and making sure the window was secure. You allowed this to happen by having this dog in the home. Let's say this is true. You didn't even know where your daughter was. Basically, you just let her roam and go along. She was killed for that. Well, she wasn't killed, but almost killed for that. And they say actually that the child was bitten. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But the fact remains that negligence and stupidity of owning such a thing with the stats, evidence, visual evidence of how vile, dangerous, and vicious these dogs are. And to basically turn your back on your child and to turn your back on the dog is just stupidity. But it is pretty normal and common amongst dog nutters. Because they feel that their dogs, even if the thing has attacked before, they feel like this thing will never attack. or never attack again. So they get comfortable. They get comfortable. And then it happens. And one thing I've always said is being comfortable can be a dangerous thing, because when you're comfortable, you're not alert, you're not aware, you're unaware, you don't know what's gonna happen. And you just relax. It's like you're on a ship coasting through the water. You just relax because you're comfortable. You're not fidgety. You're not constantly asking where your worthless dog is. You're not asking where your child is. You're comfortable. Your eyes are closed. Probably have headphones on. Probably sleeping. Playing video games. But then it happens. When you're not ready, you're not looking for it, and by the time, in some cases, before you realize, it is far too late, because that victim, which sometimes can be the owner, but many times a child, innocent children out on the street, innocent adults, senior citizens, their lives are gone. All the plans that they've planned for, is now gone and ruined because of these despicable dog nutters and pit nutters placing these dogs in our presence. I'm gonna there because I am so tired. I don't feel like this was a good video anyway, because I'm tired. I'm kind of slurred speech today. But anyways, I hope you learned something today, and we're alerted of all the attacks that have been happening all around the world. But anyways, I am Tim Watson with another Worthless Mutts, and please remember, it's okay to hate dogs.
It's Okay to Hate Dogs Productions. See you later. Doggy hater.